the children choose that because also maybe they don't have the mental capacities to do this very complicated job. So why put pressure on them to do that? So verse 8, what it says here is like, will even destroy the Dharma, which leads to permanent liberation. Like we put so much effort into things that keep falling apart. Cessations, like liberating yourself from negative emotions, that will last. Because you're uprooting them through seeing emptiness directly. So we're not kind of... Samsara has no end, you know, all this making effort again and again and again, there's no end to it. So we cannot fulfill that wish that we have to be free from suffering and cause of suffering. Not only that wish, but the other wish to really know how to be of benefit to others. This will never happen with a samsaric mind. Do we trust that? Hopefully, yeah. This is why we need strong verses like this, you know, so that we slowly start to go for something that lasts. And then you can have all the children you want. If you're a Buddha, if you're enlightened, the more children the better. Yeah? The more friends the better. The more you accept the presence of others the better, because they create so much more merit because you're a Buddha. Sounds very calculating, doesn't it? I know you don't want to be calculating, but sometimes it's good to be calculating. Okay, so we can attain lasting happiness, but we get attached to impermanent playmates. That's premature. Okay. So she also says tiredness of doing the same thing over and over again is wholesome and healing disappointment because it motivates us to break our habits. I read it again because also don't understand it properly. Tiredness of doing the same thing over and over again is wholesome and healing disappointment. You know, like really seeing to do that again and again and again and again. And then finally seeing what it is, and then that disappointment is healing, because then we look for something different. And renunciation, we have it our whole life. You know, when we're kids, we're interested in whatever, I don't know, dolls and things to build and whatever. And then we leave that behind and we get interested in something better because that's not interesting anymore. So we understand renunciation. But so all we have to do is kind of get interested in something that is lasting. Okay. In contrast, ordinary disappointment is based on the disgust of the ego, who says, I don't like this, I don't like that, which anchors our habits more and more deeply. Yeah, when we are disgusted with ice cream and then we go to salad or something more, you have this kind of food and then this is not interesting anymore, then you go to the other kind of food and then you get totally fascinated with that one, then we get fed up and then we change. So when we get disgusted with or disappointed with worldly things, we just usually go to another worldly thing. She says, so when we say I don't like this, I don't like that, which anchors our habits more and more deeply. The habit of not finding what we're looking for, basically. When the search for security in external things obscures our insight into the fleeting, unreliable nature of reality, then our longing to wake up may well fizzle out. And suddenly it's too late to wake up because the tormenting despair follows. In other words, we die. You know, we have so many opportunities to practice every day. Seeing, thinking about emptiness, generating bodhicitta, generating renunciation and this and that, but we forget because we're not reminded of this again and again and again, or we don't have a person next to us that says, hey, where's your bodhicitta? Where's your intention to leave samsara? And then we die and then we go like, oh gosh, because we have no clue where we are going to be reborn. Will we have the opportunity to meet these methods again? We all experience that they work. We all have personal experience that they work. So do we have enough wisdom to really use them? No, habits are stronger. Attachment. It's terrible, isn't it? Huh? How do you feel hearing this? David says, yes, me also, for me, it's very, I need to hear this, you know, stupid idiot. What are you doing? I need this. I can talk to myself like this. Some people can't. It's too strong. They have to first build themselves up. Good thing, at least you found it. You have it. Whenever you're ready, you start practicing. You know, you have to see where you're standing. If it just makes you feel guilty, don't use this. There's no point. But if you feel that this is what I want, gee, I need this. I need these verses to remind me again and again and again what you think the reason is why you are not happy is not true. It's not true. For if I act like those who are like children, this us, sure it is that I shall fall to lower states. So why keep company with infants and go with them in ways so far from virtue? So this is ordinary people. So again, you know, here, what does it say? If I behave the same way as the childish, I shall certainly proceed to lower states, and if I'm led there by those unequal to the noble ones, what is the use of entrusting myself to the childish? So what is the use of kind of investing so much time with ordinary happiness? What is the use? That, if you already have a family, I think that's very difficult to accept. But you can care for your family with bodhicitta, you know. Thank you so much. You make it so easy for me to open my heart, to experience an open heart, to experience love. Of course, it's mixed with attachment, but at least you get a taste how it feels to be able to forget yourself and be more concerned about the other one. If the other one is stuck in suffering, it's too painful. If it's mixed with attachment, then this is not real compassion. But at least, you know, when you see your kids happy or your partner happy, to rejoice with them. And then to think, gosh, why am I limiting myself to just these few beings? I don't need to act with everybody the same as I act with my children. But I can have an open heart towards, with the same intention for them to be happy, like I have for my children, for example. Yeah? So don't think this is, you can, you know, you have to not have a family to be able to practice. But it's very difficult because attachment is like, they say attachment is like, you know, like, how to say, oil on a cloth. Like anger, because we see the disadvantage of it, doesn't feel pleasant. It just makes us feel horrible, then we are ashamed, this and that. So it's like dust on a piece of cloth. It's easy to remove, or at least easy to see that it's not beneficial. Attachment, wow, is so deep because it feels good. And we do get small moments of satisfaction that we trade for lasting happiness. Yeah.
You said that the question that I got the impression that actually without building any attachment, when you all the time you control yourself, getting to know someone, you can't even fall in love with this person then. So you can't really start a relationship.
No.
Anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's also a little sad.
Yeah. Because, you know, this, it's like you need to be able to see the reality of the body. Who wants to have sex with a stranger? You'll be disgusted. You have to have this veil of attachment who sees that person as totally attractive. Otherwise, it's not possible. Yeah. That's what samsara is. It's why samsara doesn't end, because it's so natural almost for a samsaric mind to have attachment, to wanting to have sex, because it's such a strong energy and this the highest pleasure, you know, an orgasm.
So a practicing Buddhist can't really be in a love relationship. A practicing Buddhist can't really be in a relationship.
Yeah, we know the theory, but
because
we don't.
Like, okay,
we
attachment versus love, but love you can build after you had a kind of attachment, no?
Yeah, but that's it. You know, even you're a Buddhist, you have attachment. Even you know this intellectually, you have attachment. You can do whatever you want. As long as we haven't realized that there is no I or me, that is attachment that creates all these veils, we will have attachment, either to reputation or to others, to material gain, to knowledge, to beauty, to fame. That's it. We will only start to, it's not, it's no point saying, I don't want to have it. We have it. Yeah, so like that. So, but again, it doesn't mean we should run away from them, but at least try to see our attachment. And what I do usually when I lead refuge, when we take refuge and we put, the people that you dislike very consciously, I put them in front of me, and not many, 1, 2 that I have a problem with. So I look in their faces in my meditation and I say, I want to dissolve that aversion. I don't want to be afraid of them anymore because I'm afraid of meeting them because of my aversion, I do hurt them on a subtle level because I'm not cooperative or I don't agree with them, or even if I do agree with somebody else that I like has the same view with them, no. It's not so bad anymore. It used to be really bad, but it's not so bad anymore. But I put them very consciously in the space in front and say, I don't want to feel aversion towards that person. And it takes a long, long time. And the habit is so strong that I can dissolve it, but if I don't meet the person for a while, and I see them coming in the door, my mind goes, tuck. And I go, hey, we finished with, we finished with it. And this is where Vipassana comes in. This is by seeing what's going on, I can catch it when I see the person. And then instead of being shocked, that again, I fell into the same trap, I go like, wow, this is interesting. I spent time with her having coffee, it was totally okay, but then I haven't seen her for a while, and the old habit is still there. And then it was okay. Then she came and she talked to me and everything was all right, but I had to see it really very consciously that my heart was going like this. Then behind me, so these people in front of me, they're very important in my life. Because without them I can't practice patience. I can't practice to dissolve aversion. If I don't have aversion, how am I going to dissolve it? And I need to practice patience, one of 6 perfections. And being able to practice patience, it gives you so much courage. Because as I'm saying, I am afraid of people I dislike. Not because they're going to harm me, but because it's so unpleasant to be together with them. Ooh, and if you have to work together, it's like, ugh. Already work maybe is not so enjoyable. On top of it, you have these, yeah. So I have every interest to dissolve that aversion, which in ordinary beings feels totally normal. Okay, so they're important. Other people that are just as important is the ones that I like with attachment. Because I need to feel that wish for them to be happy, the wish for them to be free from suffering. And then I just think, okay, these in front, but those behind, it's such a nice feeling. If you look at the feeling of the one in front, if you look at the then I choose. I say, it's not changing, but at least intellectually, this is what I want. Yeah, and I don't have attachment because I don't have family also. I have friends, but even to those, I think, I'm afraid to say I'm not attached anymore. I love them very much. I'm together with them, fine, not fine. I used to cry when I had to say goodbye, not anymore. And it's not that I don't care about them, but it's not this very strong feeling anymore. It does fade. It really does fade. And then I go not to the ones that I like most. I go to the ones that really need me. So I don't judge anymore. I have so many possibilities where I want to go, so I'm not going, where is best for me? But I really start to look, where can I be of benefit? It's not so much more fun also, because we like to be of benefit. I'm not succeeding all the time. I don't think I'm realized. It's just, I start to see that the practice is working for me. So those are important behind me because they help me spontaneously to open up my heart so I can see, I can do this. I can have this feeling of, may you be happy, may you be well. And then I just think, why limit myself like this? Why just these few beings? So I don't have the argument because I'm responsible for them, they're my father, brothers, they're not. So for me it's very easy. And then this whole thing with bodhicitta, repaying the kindness of others. Then I start putting people behind me that I'm dependent on. The dentist, the doctor, somebody who gives me a home, occasionally. Like, where I see active kindness. And then comes the wish to repay the kindness without attachment. So maybe we can do that before we end today, a little bit, trying to even that out. I need an object to have these sensations, to have these feelings. For me, it's, all beings is too much general. If I put them behind me, and I change from the friends where I don't owe anything to them, to people that I owe something, it's still interest, but it's different. So just to experience that. Yeah, okay. So it's just that, this verse also is not to be so concerned about making them happy because we just that, because we can't. That's the childish. It's not in their nature to find happiness. So here is a commentary from Tenzin Zopo. Says, we might think, how can I give up my social life? Maybe Shantideva can, but I cannot. Or if I get sick and don't have friends around me, then who is going to help me? So as previously advised, having friends is not the issue, but rather whether there is clinging. And when we are with friends, does one remember bodhicitta, remember impermanence, recall the lack of inherent existence? ? One can continue attending one's ordinary activities, but one needs to modify one's mental outlook. And this we need to do, because very often we think we do, but then we don't. Yeah. Instead of jumping into attachment with the desirous attitude, apply Dharma instead. Venerate equanimity, compassion, offer virtue to living beings. So we do the next few verses, and then we do the meditation on equanimity. So here it's verse 10, he starts to explain why they're not reliable, and we can all see the truth in this. One moment friends, next they're bitter enemies. Even pleasant things arouse their discontent, like your partner Maccabi Haifa. No, I don't want to go there. Yeah, for him it's pleasant, for you it's very unpleasant. Do you see what I mean? Like, yeah, Luna is looking at me a bit. Yeah, you see, okay. Worldly people, hard it is to please them. One moment they're friends, the other next instant they become enemies. Since they become angry even in joyful situations, it is difficult to please ordinary people. So don't be surprised if you can't make them happy. That's nature of samsara. Then it goes even further. A beneficial word and they resent it. Have you ever, we're so ready to give advice. Even don't give people advice if they don't ask for it. So this is why sometimes I'm very reluctant to tell, especially here in Israel, how I feel or what's going on in my life, because immediately they start giving me therapy lessons. Really, I'm not joking. And then I go like, hey, come on, it's okay. You wanted to know how I am. I'm telling you, but I'm not saying I want to change or anything. They mean well. But I really feel, when they talk to me like this, I really feel they're giving me a therapy here. What I should do and this and that. So it's very kind. I'm not upset. I find it amusing. But just for you also, maybe if you are therapists too, if you are with friends and you ask them how are you and they tell you how they are, just, if they don't ask you, what do you think I should do? Just listen, it's enough. So a beneficial word and they resent it, because sometimes people get angry. You don't have to tell me what I should do, isn't it? If you don't say it, you feel it. Have you ever felt like this? Felt like not being listened to, that the other one, boom, jumps in with the solution? See, many people not. So we have to be careful when we do that. While all they do is turn me from the good, like they take the time for spending with them. And if to what they say I close my ears, their anger burns the cause of lower state. So if they give me advice and I'm not doing what they want me to do, they get angry. What do? They create karma to be reborn in the lower states. But we can't prevent it. We can't prevent from other people becoming angry about us. You know, people get angry because you go to the meditation course. What can you do? You can't say, I'm not going. We cannot make them happy. Is that true or no? These verses, I think, we can relate on. And it makes us more relaxed. It makes me more relaxed to move around in society, to say, well, you know, I do what I can, then it's okay.
It's amazing to think that he wrote it so many years ago, and it's like, you know, it's in the newspaper, in the columns, it's so relevant.
Yeah, this is why I said, when I read this for the first time, it was really the 8th chapter that caught my attention. I thought, shit, we're still the same. We're still so childish. Yeah, something benefit. And then comes the next one, which is also very true. Jealous of superiors, they vie with equals, or they compete with equals. Proud to those below, they strut when praised. Say something unpleasant, they seethe with rage. What good was ever had from childish folk? They're envious of superiors, competitive with equals, arrogant towards inferiors, conceited when praised. And if anything unpleasant is said, they become angry. Never is any benefit derived from the childish. We don't need to discuss it. I mean, it's very, very clear. We can see that every day.
No, just to remind ourselves that we are the childish, because we say they, no, we.
Yeah. Keep company with them and what will follow. I mean, we saw it in Corona, you know, the split between families and friends in Corona, because I want vaccine, I don't want vaccine, this and that, I'm not going to wear mask, blah, blah. It was so strong. It was so strong, this is why it says, keep company with them and what will follow. Friends accept me to go along with them. If I say, no, for me, vaccine is okay, then, what? You know, I said, yeah, I want to go. I had good reason, thank you very much. I said, I want to go to Israel, I need to be vaccinated. I had no choice to think about it. If I want to come here, otherwise I can't get in. So it was easy. What will follow? We follow that they expect us to come along with them, to have the same view. Now is election coming up. It's the same thing again, you know. One part of the family this one, the other part of the family this one. Leave them alone. It's like you know. I have one family, the 3 people, they never tell each other what they're going to vote for. That's the best. Votes are secret. Why would they keep them secret? It's okay. When they ask you, say, I'm not going to tell you. Then there are no arguments. We are in a democracy. Everybody can vote what they want, not what the partner wants. So, you do that. Self-aggrandizement and scorn for others. Talk about the good things of samsara. Every kind of vice is sure to come. Yeah. Most of the time, you know, people like to tell us about their happy times, like the holidays, the children are doing well, I saw this movie, I went to that exhibition. This is how we spend the time. And then, if you are somebody who kind of renounced all this, you go like, oh, maybe I'm missing out. Because also, you know, with movies and all this, I used to know all the movies. I was 3 times a week in a movie theater. I have no clue what's going on at the moment. And I was missing it at the beginning. Luckily, I was in India, so I didn't have to, you know, pass the movie theater and go, no, I don't want to go in this. No, there's a Hindi movies, but who wants to sit 4 hours for something you don't understand what it's all about? So, and then because I'm not exposed to it anymore, if somebody says, shall we go to the movie? I say, no, on TV is okay, as I say. You know, it's kind of stupid thing, not very profound. That's okay, just to kind of fill the time. So, but movie, no, I don't miss the feeling of sitting in the movie anymore. Because in the movie theater, you can forget yourself much better than on, you know, TV or whatever. And that's what we want. This is why, in a short moment, we can forget about ourselves. We get sucked into the story, emotions. That we don't suffer from the emotions because the movie is finished. The sadness is gone, the hurt is all gone. We're not carrying it out, but we enjoy the emotions. We are somebody. and talk about the good things of samsara. That's what they love to do, these childish, isn't it? Such as praising the living others and discussing the joys of cyclic existence. So this is why also monks and nuns are not supposed to go to weddings. Because then, if you're still young, if you're old, it's okay. Because you see that happy couple, you know, and you go like, maybe. And we have one, Yeshe, you know, very good nun, who was first in class in dialectic school and everything from Europe. She went home on a holiday, so all her schoolmates, she's very young, she's maybe 22, 23, she saw her schoolmates getting married and having children, or, you know, people around her age, maybe a bit older. She couldn't stand not to have children. That's it. So it's like, if she would have stayed there, it's like there's many happy nuns, but she was the only nun there. So all these other people from the same age, more or less, that she knew from before they had children. So this is why, don't invite me to a wedding. Well, it's okay. I mean, I can go. I don't like it, but I do go. Sometimes I go to places, it's okay. I go because I'm invited and I know it's people they would like me to come, but from my side, it's okay. Probably you would be the same, isn't it? If you're invited for a wedding, do you like to go?
For different reasons. For different reasons.
For different reasons, all the food, the music, the noise. Well, maybe we should make it public. You know, maybe you should make it public to tell the couples who want to get married, look, please don't spend all this money. Most of the people don't want to come anyway. Most of the people don't enjoy. I think it was Ian Ball and Eyal also said, don't bring any presents and do it, but people still did. Like this, every kind of vice is sure to come. Only ruin can result from links like these between yourself and others, for they will bring no benefit to you, and you, in turn, can bring them nothing good, because when we have a lot of contact with other people, the chance that we upset their mind is big. You know, if you are, let's forget about retreat, but if you're depressed, and you're staying home, and you're not going out, this is fantastic, because you're not harming anybody. You're not the burden for the environment because you're not driving, you're not consuming anything, you're just staying at home, so you can rejoice.
You prevent them from being of help to you and then gaining good karma.
Yeah. Of course, you can always find yes, but in general, for us, depression is only bad, isn't it?
But if we tell all the depressed people to stay at home,
this is talking to you. This is not talking to all the people out there. The childish are the others. This is about me. This is about me here. You know, if I'm depressed, okay, at least, you know, I am not creating. I don't make them create negative karma. Then of course you can say also, don't make them to create positive karma. That is totally true. So like this, but they can, positive karma, they can think, oh, poor thing, she's depressed, she's at home, may she recover from her depression. It's like, you know, without being. Therefore, flee the company of childish people, greet them. Now, this is the last verse we do this afternoon. It doesn't say flee them, no, I don't want to see them. It's greet them when we meet with smiles that keep on terms of pleasant courtesy while not inviting close familiarity. Sounds superficial relationships, isn't it? That's what it will be. So Dharma relationships, this is encouraged, this is okay, this you can have. Most get hurt by friends, we get entangled. You know, the deepest hurts come from people that we have labeled friends. Because we were sure they will never hurt me, they will always treat me with consideration and notice. Somebody that you didn't like from the beginning, they hurt you, yeah, you get angry. But you can let go of that deep hurt very quickly. But people that you label your friends, when they do something that you disagree with, it's very painful. Okay? Then 17 is we do tomorrow. So then, now he comes with arguments then in 17, but it's good to be rich and benefit to others and like this. Somebody says, his ego says.